Hello, it's Loralyne. Welcome to my classes. Today I'm gonna show you how to repair your clothes, your tools, and your weapons. So let's get started. First thing first. Oops. So to start with, obviously we have the sewing kits. Okay, how do you get these? The very first thing that you need is a needle and thread. So how do you get a needle? You can get it from any kind of bone combined with a knife, and it will give you this bone needle. Then when you combine the thread that you can use on anybody, even the puppet's corpse or anywhere on the map, you combine the thread and the needle and you get this improvised sewing kit. Of course you can use metal needle as well, but they're very harder to find. So this is the first kind of sewing kit, and this is the second kind of sewing kit. But this one, you cannot craft it. You have to loot it from places, houses, or almost anywhere as well. Alright, with that, any of those sewing kits, you can repair almost all your clothes. You just have to right click on the, well, mine are almost gone, 100%, but this, let's get the gloves for example. You right click on the item you want to repair and you just choose, oh, right, this is not the okay, because it's not in my, yeah, you have to have the sewing kit in your inventory or on the floor to work. So you right click on the item you want to repair and you see it, just as simple as that, and then it's repaired. Okay, same with this one. There are some exceptions, but we'll see that later on. Alright, secondly, things that you need to repair with the toolbox. So you have three kinds of toolbox as well. The first one, the improvised toolbox, the small toolbox, and the big one, the red one. The only difference is this one you can craft yourself. The two other ones you need to load them. Crafting the improvised toolbox is very easy. You just need, even with no skill in engineering, you can craft it, and it only requires 2 metal scrap, 2 planks, 1 nail, 1 bolt, and any kind of the 5 different items you can use. See, when you have those little crosses over there, it means that you have 5 different tools you can use for that. So like the crowbar or the hammer or the spade, etc. So with this you can craft a toolbox and it works just fine. Alright, so what does the toolbox repair? It repairs a lot of things, from your wooden bow to your actual bow, and also you will need them for some military equipment, such as the helmet, because you cannot repair it with a sewing kit, and also all the bulletproof vest and all the military equipment, heavy military equipment, and also the compound bow, but we will see that a bit later on. Alright, now when you want to repair tools such as the axe, you do need either a grinding stone, which is used to repair all the metal tools and weapons, such as the sword or any kind of knife. But you have another option. You can build a workbench. This workbench works very great to repair your tools, because you don't need any grinding Oh, sorry, grinding stones are very hard to find, and the workbench is something you can craft yourself. Of course, you do need a bit more engineering for that because you need to be medium, but you still can craft it, and it requires a bit more elements, but well, it lasts longer because once you have it, um, you can repair it with just the simple improvised toolbox that we saw over there. Alright, so this is for the tools and the sword and the knives. Then you have the weapon cleaning kit, which is used, as you can guess, to repair the weapons. So it will repair all your weapons except the compound bow. When you want to repair a weapon, it's very easy as well. Either you put the items on the floor by the toolbox, either you take the items in your hand and then you have the toolbox in your backpack or whatever, and you right click to repair. Of course, mine doesn't need to be repaired because it's full health. Alright, but you have another option. If you find a similar weapon, let's say in a bunker, and it's not in a very good shape, then you can disassemble it like this, and it's making you parts. And with those parts, even if you don't have the weapon cleaning kit, which is kind of hard to find as well, you still can repair your gun. Just have same things, you hold it or you put it nearby, you right click and you repair it. To disassemble a weapon, same way, you just take it or you put it on the floor, you right click and see here, disassemble, but you need the toolbox nearby. Okay. Now we have the compound. Oh, this is my favorite weapon ever. I love the compound bow. The compound bow needs a toolbox to be repaired. Okay, so same thing, right clicked and then you repair. How come that? Well, because it's okay. Each time you have an item that is 100%, of course it will not offer to repair it. Okay, but then you have a second thing about the compound bow. See, this is a 60 pounds compound bow. Depending on your strength here, how many points you get here, you can pull a heavier bow. If you want to adjust it, you just get a toolbox and then you right click on your bow and you choose adjust draw weight. I'm not doing it right now because I don't need to, but it's going up, and if then it's too strong for you and you cannot pull it anymore, you will need to ask a friend or someone who is having a lower strength than you to adjust it back. Alright, so I think we've seen pretty much everything about how to repair stuff, and now I'm gonna show you just a little last tip. If you're like me and you like to look good and neat, you know, sometimes even when your clothes are repaired, they just keep going looking bad, or you know, like they're damaged or whatever. The only option you have for that is to come in the water and you get some soap in your hand, and then you can you get some soap and then you can choose the clothes and you will have a wash option. Again, mine are clean so they don't go. Maybe the gloves, I don't know, because let's see how it looks. Yeah, see, so for example my jeans here, they are not completely clean. You have 23.6% dirtiness, so I just get some soap in my hands, then I right click and wash all. Alright, and then you see it's going back to full dirtiness 0%. All right. Well, this is it for today. Thank you for watching. I hope this little tutorial helped you some, and if yes, please stay tuned for next class. Bye bye.